Hi, here we go for another MyMaths walkthrough. This is task 78, estimating calculations, number 1. Now, normally when we estimate, we round to one significant figure, so you've got to have, understand what the one significant figure is before we start running the estimation jobs. Just trying to click into the thing. I'll obviously show you what that's all about anyway as we go through it. Okay, so here we go. We've got first question is, oops, just keep clicking everywhere. Is 2.07 times 2.03. Now obviously that's quite a hard thing to work out. However, when it says estimate, you round to one significant figure. So what you basically do is you look for the first number, so that's a 2. Look at the next one, it's a 0, so that's not affecting it. If it was 5 or more, it would round up, but it's less than 5, so it's good. So this is just the number 2, and then that bit just disappears because there's a decimal, so it's 2, so it's approximately 2 times by, and this one is going to be 2 as well, so 0 is less than 5, so it leaves that 2 alone, so it's 2 times 2, so it's approximately equal to 4, and that's it. Okay, so estimating actually turns out to be nice and easy in the end, even though the original question is quite horrendous. So the next one, I've got 365.4 times by 7.77. Okay, again a horrendous question, but we're going to estimate it. You'll notice I'll do this squiggly equals sign, which is the estimating sign. So I'll look for the first number, it's a 3, so 3, this is a 6, that means it's going to change to a 4. Now I've got to change these two to zeros before I get to the decimal point, so once I get to the decimal point I'll forget about it. Okay, times by, and then this one's a 7, but this one's a 7 as well, so that's going to round that 7 up to an 8, and then the decimal point comes straight afterwards, so I can now work this out. And this one is just 8 times 4 is 32, and then I've got 2 more zeros, so that thing should be around about 3,200, and that's what the estimate's about. So the next one, I've got 7.8 times by 2.75, so I'll look for the first number, there it is there. The next one's an 8, that means that it's got to round up, so 5 or more rounds this number up to, so that 7 goes up to an 8, so it's approximately equal to 8 times by, and then there's nothing else because the decimal point hit it. There's your first number, next one's a 7, which is more than 5, so that rounds to a 3, then you've got the decimal point, so you can just forget everything else, and 3 8 to 24, so that thing's about 24. Next one is 2812 divided by 99.74, so it's approximately equal to, there's the first number, the next one's an 8, so that 8 rounds the 2 up to a 3, and then these have all got to change to zeros, because there's no decimal point, so you've got to keep them if change them to zeros if there's no decimal point. As soon as you get to a decimal point, you'll forget about it. Divided by, this time, divided by, and I've got 99.74, so this one is the first number, that 9 rounds that one up to a 10, and then this will change into a 0, and then I hit the decimal point so I can forget about everything else. And then dividing by 100 just means wipe out 2 of the zeros, so it's going to be 30, so dividing by 100 wipes out 2 zeros, and the answer is just 30. It's a weird looking 3. So that's that one. Next lot I've got is 12.22 times 7.13, which is approximately, there's your first significant figure, there's the next one is a 2, so that leaves that alone, that'll turn into a 0, then I hit the decimal point, times by, there's your decimal, there's your first number, that's a 1, 1 doesn't affect the 7, so it's 7, hit the decimal point straight away, and 10 times 7 is 70. Next one, I've got 3169 divided by 60.39, so there's your first number, that's a 1, so it doesn't change it, so it leaves it with 3, and then these 3 will all turn to zeros because there's no decimal point there, and divided by, there's your first number, 0 doesn't change it, so it stays as 6, that'll change to a 0, but already is a 0, so it doesn't matter, and then there's your decimal point, so you forget those 2 bits, and then 3000 divided by 60, a little bit harder that one, but 300 divided by 60, or 30 divided by 6 is 5, and that's actually going to be 500, so 5 is, oh sorry, not 500, it's going to be 50, isn't it? 500, what am I talking about? Is 50. Now that's a little bit harder because the division bit at the end is a little bit harder to figure that out. It's easier than doing that one though. Right, 434 even 0.27 times by 88.61 approximately So the 4 is the first number, the next one's a 3, so it doesn't affect the 4, it's got to be 5 or more, remember. These two will turn to zeros, then you get the decimal point, times by. There's your first number, second one's an 8, so 8 rounds up, so that will round to a 9. And then that 8 will turn to a 0, but then I get the decimal point, so don't forget about those bits. And then 9 times 4 is 36, and then there's 1, 2, 3 zeros, so I've got 36,000 there for that one. Okay, so that's that lot, one to one significant figure. Let's go for the next page. Where's it at? Page that one. So not as many questions this time, so it shouldn't take as long, hopefully, he said. Right, first question then. I've got, by rounding the numbers in the question to one significant figure, work out these estimates. You must show you're working out. Oh, it says you must, oh yes, because it says there's working out page. Martine works for 40.5 hours, so you've got 40.5 hours, which is approximately 40, okay, for 39 weeks a year, so that's how many hours she works per week. 39 is approximately 40 as well, weeks. So you're doing approximates. As soon as it says estimate, you should go straight into approximations. Estimate how many hours Martine works each year. So to work out the hours, you just times these two together. So you got 40, this 40, times by this 40, and then 4 4s is 16, and then there's 2 zeros. So she approximately works that long. She earns, let's have a look, £351, which is approximately 400, okay, because your first number's there, and then the second one's a 5, which is changing that to a 4, and then these two will go to zeros. So she pays approximately £400 per week. How much does she earn? Remember, she works for 39 weeks a year, so 39, which was approximately 40 weeks. So she's going to earn 400 times by 40, which equals 4 4s is 16 again. This time there's 3 zeros. So she's approximately earning £16,000 a year, which I guess is a wage, a realistic wage. Okay, I don't know what she actually does. No, it doesn't tell us what she actually does, but it's a realistic wage. And then I've got next question. Martine earns £9.95 an hour, £9.95, which is approximately £10 an hour per hour. Okay, she wants to save £900 to pay for a holiday, so £900 is the holiday. Now I can't round that one because it's already rounded one significant figure. It's already rounded to one significant figure. Estimate how much overtime Martine needs to do to earn this amount. So she's got, we've got 900 divided by 10. So she's got to work for 90 hours, not pounds, 90 hours. Okay. And that's the end of the rounding. Now, the only thing to note on the rounding is when you do these at GCSE level, sometimes that you're off with not going to one significant figure. But MyMaths obviously clearly is asking you to get to one significant figure, so that's what you've got to aim at. One significant figure, the two significant figures we go for, one significant figure and 3 significant figures, they're the major two. Anyway, that's me rambling about something else. Right, that's it. Good luck.